Brian, this is from your lesson on April 9th, 2025, your first lesson at Zone Golf Academy. This is part two. Part one went through in detail some things that you should think about refining, and it showed your swing next to, I think, Adam Scott's. So, but this one, part two, is done after the session, where the one on the left is where we started, and the one on the right is where we ended up. So if we get back and just review what was going on with this swing. So this is very similar to the first video. Okay, so that's the swing, and you can tell you're pinched in, but I believe it's from when you started after your stroke. You had some balance issues, and with balance issues, we never really want to get loaded up on the right side. We don't want our hands too far from our body. We usually end up with an overly narrow stance because we don't want to test the balance issue. And I believe what we're seeing here on the left is just from a lot of rust, and there's some there's a loss of what the stroke should look like, and I think it's just time away from it, and really haven't given any thought and haven't seen a video for years. So, okay, so we talked about it, and what really seemed to work the best for you is a couple images. One is, the airplane landing. If you come in steep like the one on the left, you're airplane, and you come in like this, you're going to bounce the wheels off the runway. If we come in and sweep it, shallow it out, sweep it, be smooth landing. The other one was, remember we had you swing like a baseball swing, ball up here about chest, and that's the most shallow swing you can have, and so that well, and that's when you started loosening up the lower and we're turning through it. And if you remember, we lowered it and it was down about kneecap, and then we lowered it, and you really got a feel of what it was, found it out. That did wonders. We had several balls and did some mirror work, and then we ended up with this on the right. Okay. Look at this. See how you really don't thing off plane. It's quite good. Okay, so to the top. See how the swing angle is swing plane is a plane to these yellow lines, not beyond one another. The top. So here, photo of this at the. See the butt of the club, from the butt of the club, inside your heel needs to be. This is quality. Usually, 7-iron, it's bone, but this is really good. This is a super position. I had that top position. See how the left arm is parallel to the swing plane. That down your right armpit. This is after, and so you've actually a wrist set in there because the grip is. So this is really a picture of that. So the checkpoint for you is, and that's what you're going to work. That's your mission this week, is get to that on a repeated basis. When you come down, the next checkpoint is with our waist high. When the hands are waist high, your forearm in this case, yeah, so fine, okay, and you'll get, and the swing at the end is close, okay. Picking, we want to almost have to over your forearm, but along with that. So that, and the red line, that's is the shaft, okay. The for you, and the shaft down exactly where the right is. See that X? Look where the ground. Your X is here, working it, following it out. And so again, now from here on, releasing. So once we've got, and you know, really interesting. So at the, it's on plane, but look at you here, and I got, you're at a, because nobody this big a crest, because shaft, now watch angle between that, just here's the top, see the shell, and see the is actually more down ball. Look, so started was this week is to set up with the mirror to your right, really work on that grip. Remember, if you get that grip out in front of you at, you know, about a 90, 45 degree angle, it helps get the shaft more in your fingers on the left hand and less in the above the pad in your left hand. So we work on that, but then, and you know, choke down like 7 inches so you have a good pointer here. We'll tell you if you're on plane, and you won't break anything in the house. So you get a mirror to your right, and then you go from that good position. That's really a great takeaway, by the way, to this, okay. And then, you know, you can actually look at your club head, and that pointer would be somewhere out here. The end of the club, if you're choking up 6 inches, would be out here. You can see that with your eye, okay. And your old swing would be pointed more down, okay. So that's your mission. Now, once you're at the top and you've checked it with a mirror, I say don't waste it. Drop your hands. So the butt of the club, you know, at this point we want the butt of the club to drop almost vertically towards your hip. And then once it gets waist high, then we rotate. But again, you could play with this. It's not perfect, but you can play with it. So this is your mission. So you take the top, confirm that with a mirror, and then drop it down about the speed, like this. And then when it gets here, check that mirror to the right, see if it's on your forearm, and then from there, just look where the ball is and release through. So that's your practice protocol for now, and way better than hitting 2,000 balls and wearing yourself out, because there's no feedback. With a mirror, you know if you're on.